Welcome back to the Healing Motherhood Podcast. Today we are talking about physiological birth and some of the ways that we might feel like, are our bodies really made to birth our babies? Today we are diving into this question because many people after a traumatic or difficult birth or a birth with complications can end up saying to themselves, my body failed me. And it creates this awful connection with our body where there can be self-hatred, there can be self-loathing, there can be this just disappointment and lack of care, this indifference to our body. So when we talk about this idea of our bodies being made to birth our babies, we have to remember that our body was maybe designed to birth babies, yes. And our bodies are also designed to poop, but people still get constipated. Our eyes are designed to see, but I'm wearing contacts right now. Our ears are made to hear, and lots of people need support from hearing devices. So, yes, most bodies were made to give birth. Far more than the 70% of us that are able to have vaginal deliveries at this time. The numbers that seem to be the most accurate for the need of cesarean are around 10%. And right now, I think it's over 30 in the US. I actually don't know the most recent numbers on that, but that's the most recent one I remember seeing. So I can remember how it felt when I first learned that my cesarean probably wasn't necessary, that it was probably caused by what many call the cascade of interventions. And so I just want you to know, if that is how you're feeling, you are not alone. There are a lot of people out there who have had unnecessary cesareans and don't know, and they have this kind of, oh, thank God for my doctors, they saved me, they saved my baby. And if you want to stay there, that is totally okay. And if you're starting to make the connections and see that maybe your traumatic birth was caused by interventions and the care that you received in the medical system, I'm sorry. It's a good awareness because it means that we can start to heal in another way. We can start to kind of deal with these feelings in another way, which is kind of good and hard too. So I see you, and I just want you to know that if that's you, you are far from alone. There are women every day who go in and unknowingly consent to intervention after intervention without ever once having heard the term cascade of interventions, and in fact have maybe been groomed to accept these interventions by their hospital-based birth education class. So I want you to know that if you are sick of hearing the phrase, your body was made to birth your baby, you're not alone. And you're not wrong if you feel like, well, my body wasn't, or my body failed. But I will say that when we are activated like that, when we hear something like that and it makes us so mad and we just want to fight with that person, it's a good sign that that is our body telling us that that's a sore spot to heal. That is what we call an activation. Your brain is lighting up and it is saying, danger, 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 because you are kind of starting to see the truth underneath it, right? It wouldn't be so triggering if there was no truth to it, right? Just like if I said to you, your hair is blue, which I think is a cool thing now, and your hair might be blue. But if I said to you, your hair is blue and it's not, you'd be like, she just doesn't know what she's talking about. Who cares? But if I said to you your hair was blue and you had just been doing something and you were like, oh, let me, maybe you were in a color run and you were like, oh, yeah, let me go check. I better take care of that if you wanted to. But you might like it blue. I don't know. You do you. But my point is that Things aren't triggering because they're false. Things are triggering when we see the truth in them and we see and it pings something in us. It's a sign that we have something we get to heal. And so that is where I want to invite you. There's a link down below to my 3 tools to keep your cool. And these strategies will help you kind of take a sigh of relief, take a breath, and start to feel okay when you see those things and you're triggered, but also feel free to use the unfollow button frequently, unabashedly. If somebody is getting you dysregulated often, you know what? Social media is where we get to create our little, what do you call it, echo chamber, and it's okay. Yes, I want you to be open to other views, but when you are still in trauma brain, when you are healing, when you are in the muck of it, it is okay to protect your peace and to say, you know what, I can't follow that birth account right now. It's too much for me. I'd love to come back for it at a time when I feel more regulated and look at that from a different headspace. So if you think you had an unnecessarian, I'm so sorry. I did too. And I'm sorry to those of you who feel you will never know, because for some of us, we will never know, right? Yes, I might call mine an unnecessarian, but there's no way for me to actually prove that. So thank you for being here today, and I hope to see you tomorrow because we are digging deeply into the way birth trauma impacts our connection with our body and the way that we view our body. So I'll see you later.